Wow.
Did you see that?
That was
explosion?
unexpected. Welcome to coffee
Did you see
time.
that coming? Amazing.
Oh yeah, like the graphics are phenomenal.
But there's no noise, right? Or is there a noise for them?
There's no noise. I don't think. Is there noise for you? Boom.
I remembered there was a noise, but my mind may have associated a noise from my memory to go with the picture.
Oh, there you go.
See what I'm saying?
Good morning, Tanya, Rick, Connie, Sharon.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you.
You know what we should do?
She loves your hair.
Oh, thanks, Sharon. I love it too. I just chopped it with scissors. You know what we should do, guys?
What should we do?
This is what we're going to do. No matter where you are, I know some of you are in an office setting right now.
Oh, look, Debbie's here. And so is your mom and dad. And she's not angry this morning.
That was my mom, guys. That angry face was my mother.
It's true. She hit the angry face, but it's probably something I did. Because you know how sons-in-laws are, right?
Okay, no matter where you are this morning, we're going to do this together. Are you guys
do
ready?
The song?
Right, all of us. All of us. You guys have to sing too.
This is so
Are you
lame.
snapping okay? You're not really snapping with me. Here we go. No, you're not. No, you're going down and I'm going up. We have to coordinate our motions because it's
Alright.
throwing my brain off. Sorry if you guys started singing without me. This is so bad. Okay, no snapping. Steve and Charlotte in the morning. Oh, Ellie's sang it. You missed it probably, right? You guys probably missed it. Anyways.
We are outside today.
We are.
This is not just a green screen. Although Rick would be very impressed if it was, because he likes using the
He does use those backdrops,
the
doesn't
fake
he?
backdrops
Yeah.
on his Zoom calls.
But they're not fake. There are sometimes pictures he took,
Right.
but they're not where he is in that moment.
No, that's
but
why
he
I
has
called
been
him.
there in the past.
Right. Okay. Welcome to Coffee Time.
Welcome.
My name is Steve,
I am Charlotte, and this is the morning,
and we're outside.
and we're having coffee.
And you may hear the sounds in the background of the wind, or the bulldozers, or the chainsaws,
Or if our neighbor Steve comes home, the leaf blower.
the leaf blower.
You will
yes.
definitely hear the leaf blower if Steve comes home.
It's a little bit cold out. I can prove that it's not a facade. Are you ready?
Do it. Prove it. This is happening. Do you see the porch swing, everybody? This is your moment to see the porch swing now that Steve's not sitting there. And, isn't this amazing? He's going to go into this green screen. Incredible! There he is. Run around the tree, Steve. Nothing says proof like running around the tree. There it is. This is one of those glimpse moments. Like, if I had told Steve a few months ago, when he was like totally reluctant to do coffee time at all in the beginning, and if I said to him, no, believe me, you'll love it. Soon you'll be running around our yard in glee at the thought of coffee time. Thank you, hon, for running.
That was for Connie.
Okay.
It is not a facade. It is our backyard.
So the other day, I want to tell this story because I think it's funny, and
I have no idea what the story is.
I don't know. I don't know if you, but right before we started coffee time, you said something, and I made a little joke. I'm not sure if you remember where it came from or not, but the other day I was saying to Steve, like, if I wasn't married to you, I wonder what the cabin would look like. And then, so I'm like imagining, because you guys know I'm a little, maybe more out there, like not as traditional in the way that I would do things. And so
I'm Dutch.
I was imagining, like, you know, all the colors that I would use and the way that I would store things, and things would be hanging, like we got hanging things, but, you know, things would be kind of around and it would be eclectic and really crazy. So I was just thinking about that, and I said that to Steve, I wonder what the cabin would look like. And he goes, well, I mean, there's always the option of divorce. And then he goes, because I mean, what's it to me? And we just laughed so hard. And then so right before this started, that's what that "what's it to me" was from. Did you remember that moment?
No, I did not.
Because that was a very, very funny moment when now you remember.
I do.
What's it to me? It's like the perfect little jokey joke.
So, is there a lot of wind noise coming
Is
through?
there too much wind noise?
Can you still hear us okay? We'll wait for your response.
Oh yeah, we do that far too often. We think you guys can respond right away, but you can't. Okay, what can we tell you about? Today is National Handshaking Day. Make sure every person you see today, you greet them with a handshake, because that's what today's about.
We did a couple interviews yesterday for the summer student job. No handshaking. Doing another interview today.
Will they be handshaking?
There will not be handshaking.
Do you think there will ever be handshaking again?
I hope not. Maybe elbow bumps?
That's way more awkward.
Yeah,
Fist bumps. Like, do you think we could get into the habit of fist bumping?
I don't know.
Like, can you do that in a suit and tie? Can you fist bump?
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Can you fist bump somebody you've never met before as an introduction
At a
while
funeral.
you're wearing at a funeral while wearing a suit and tie? That is really. Can you?
That
can
is
you
the
do
question. I think I could.
So now, no wind really. Okay, so we've got the answer to that. Now you guys give us that story about the fist bump. Can you do that? Because if you can do that in a funeral, suit and tie, somebody you've never met before, if you can fist bump in that setting, then I think the fist bump has a chance.
Yeah.
It may take off.
You shook a hand yesterday? Was it your own? Because you burnt it? Did you also simultaneously blow on that hand?
Do you blow when you burn?
No.
Okay.
I dip it in water or run it under cold tap. So today is Thursday, sermon writing day. I have absolutely no clue what I'm going to talk about. No fist bumping at funerals.
Yeah. See, I don't think it's really got a future.
You don't think it does?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Debbie, how about a nice firm butt slap? Men to men.
I was kind of wondering there where you're going with that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on from that
Okay,
moment.
yeah, let's.
Good they can hear us. So you can't fist bump and keep 2 meters apart. Otherwise, you'd have 2 meter gap between your fists. Connie, it doesn't work. Because the whole 2 meters apart thing is...
But you and I can be, Caroline Laidlaw and I can be 6 feet apart and fist bump.
Except you're not actually apart if your parts of your body are contacting.
Our faces.
Oh,
the parts
is it about your face, though?
The parts that express the virus.
Okay. I do have some jokes.
Aw, Rick.
Yes, butt slapping. That seems appropriate, especially at a funeral. With somebody you don't know. Although that's how Andrew and Aaron met.
That's true.
Yeah, but we won't tell that story right now. We'll just let you wonder about Andrew and Aaron and how they met through a butt slap. All right, was it a butt grab? I think it was more of a butt grab than a slap.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Maybe somebody is out there watching who knows. Was it a grab or a slap? We'll find out.
Carrie's out there.
Carrie, maybe
Your
Aaron.
sister?
There's a chance Andrew and Emily are there, although we don't know. You guys know who else is watching with you, but we don't know who's watching. But we can check after. Sharon might know. Those fake arms with hands.
Yes. We have some of those in the basement of
Everybody
our church office.
Everybody who has mocked Donald Trump in the last year, who has the mini arms and the mini hands, they can all use those.
Hi, Ellie. How can we help you?
Hi, precious one.
Yes.
I can't hear what you said, but Daddy
Dried
said
mango.
yes. Yeah, go for it, kid.
So
2.
The
Can you give 2 to your brother too? Give 2 to Cal too, okay? Thanks, hon.
it was a slap.
It was a slap.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened is, we got to tell the story now. My brother-in-law, Aaron, was standing in church one day, and he was a new youth leader that the youth didn't really know yet. Like, he was just coming into the church, and they were going to take on some youth leadership with us, but he wasn't familiar to the kids yet. And then Andrew, at this point, is a teenager.
Yep.
And he comes into the church and he sees Aaron and thinks that he is his best friend at the time, Elliot. And so in Andrew's mind, he's slapping, according to Carrie, slapping the butt of Elliot, his best friend. But no, it's the new youth worker. What do you call them?
Youth leader?
Youth leader. It's the new youth leader's butt he's slapping. And so that is the moment that Andrew and Aaron met. And then,
It kicked off a beautiful friendship.
yeah, and I was going to say, although Andrew and Emily both were kids in our youth group when we were pastoring, we have developed a beautiful friendship with them. And we had the privilege, both Carrie and Aaron and Steve and I had the privilege of being in Andrew and Emily's wedding. So that the butt slap took them all the way to that place.
We're going to tell a little story right now.
I just told the story.
I know, but it's another story. Because of
Another story?
Because of interviews. Like, we've been doing interviews, and so I get to be the interviewer. And I've had that privilege a number of times now, hiring people on behalf of the church. But
Here's
I'm
Callum.
going to tell a story about being an interviewee and this is an interview I was a young guy. I was 22 years old, I think. 22 or 23.
Can we entertain Cal for 1 second?
One second.
And then I promise we will.
Time out.
Okay, Cal, come and show. I know that you're anxious to show. What is this little thing? Why are we so anxious about this little thing?
Good morning, Kim.
Callum makes a lot of cool things out of Lego, so he's got something here.
This is a little elf house that you can...
An elf house. Let's put it up here so everybody can see it.
You can order it online for Lego people, and it can be like this little house, like doll house.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Daddy's going to push a button there. That's better. Okay, so you can order this online, this little doll house, and how much does it cost?
$400.
No.
How much does it cost, Cal?
$100.
$100. So that's a bargain.
Yeah, because there's only $100 in Minecraft in Lego.
Okay.
Okay, that was not
But
logical,
this one is made entirely of like the crystally one, so it's very valuable.
Very valuable. $100 tiny dollhouse.
Yeah.
Lego. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Bud.
but only the bottom.
So, can I tell a story regarding Callum?
No, because I'm in the middle of the
but
story.
it's fitting right now to what's happening.
Okay, sure.
Okay, both of you guys, can you guys not come out again because we've had lots of interruptions? Okay. You guys say yes, Mama. Okay, and then you honor what you just said. Okay. Thank you. Don't come out again. Callum, I have to just tell this one. I'll make it quick.
Yes.
It was so funny. So he decorated his room by setting up all of his action figures everywhere around the room. So he had all of his Lego set up on one half of the room, all of his like Imaginext superheroes set up on the other room with all of his bases and everything. And it was quite a scene. It was quite nice. But then he set up a table at the door and he started charging people
Charging admission.
to come into his room to take a look around. And then... and then so that happened the one day. We entertained him a bit with it.
Spent some money.
We spent some money, you know what I mean? And then the second day, I was giving him trouble about something. So I went into his room, and unbeknownst to me, apparently he had changed his scene around. But I was in his room giving him trouble about something. He goes, and he's like, "No, Mom, no, close your eyes, close your eyes." And I closed my eyes, and he goes, "Okay, now open them." I open them, and he goes like this with his hand. And then he goes, "That'll be 10 cents, please." I was like, "What? I'm here to give you trouble, and now you're going to charge me?" It was a pretty great moment. Pretty hilarious.
So back to my interview story.
Please.
We
Are you sure you want to tell the story? It's a gross story.
Oh, it is a gross story. And that's why it's fantastic,
Okay.
because interviews are fun for people. They're not, actually, at all. Anyway, so I was interviewing for Bethel Community Church, their youth pastor position, sitting around the table there was a lot of people in the interview.
Freaking ton of people for an interview.
There were...
like 10
or 12 people. And there's a lady sitting next to me, very well-dressed lady, sort of prim and proper. You could kind of...
Prissy.
Okay. Always thought that was like a...
Okay, maybe it's wrong. Maybe
offensive
it's not
term.
right.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I have a little bit of a cold.
I don't even want to hear this story.
I think you guys know where this is going. I have a bit of a cold, and somebody says something, and it makes me laugh. And from the depths of my throat comes a large piece of phlegm.
A loogie.
And it flies out of my throat.
No.
Onto the nylon leg of the lady sitting next to me.
That's so horrible.
Anyways, somehow I keep my composure. The interview goes on while she's dry heaving next to me.
Totally.
Reaches across the table, grabs a Kleenex, wipes up my loogie, and just like kind of shudders a little bit. But things carry on. I got the job. Probably one of my most embarrassing moments. I've had a lot of embarrassing moments in my life,
bad one, though.
but that was a pretty bad one. Anyways, so there you have it. It is gross, and I am sorry for that, but that's just the way things happened.
Yep.
And I still got the job, so I don't know if it was like all the other candidates had 3 heads or something like that, but anyways, so we've got some other interviews today, so we'll see how those go.
All that circles back to you're doing interviews.
Interviews,
You're
yeah.
very excited about the interviews. I think you're really looking forward to having
A little, yeah. I think it's
having some relief in
yes,
that way.
yes, that will be helpful. The shovel was a groundbreaking invention.
Next.
What do you call a girl with one leg that's shorter than the other? She has one leg that's shorter than the other.
What do you call her?
Yeah.
Eileen.
You got it, Eileen.
Now it's like a quiz, right? Because I've heard them all so many times. Can I remember the answers? Can I remember them?
I did a theatrical performance on puns. It was a play on words.
Yep, heard that one before.
Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
That's all.
Oh, I really wanted a good one. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Eileen that's actually a pretty good one. Eileen.
So what do you do with a dead chemist?
What?
You bury him, as in
That's barium. That's
the chemical. Bury him. Anyways, there you go. No, it's because I taught you Sunday school. Is that why I got the job? Was because of Sharon Sorley? My Sharon Sorley connection? Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. I thought I muted my phone. Okay. We are...
family.
We're going to go into scripture time.
We are going to go into
How are you doing anyway, Shar?
How am I doing? I'm feeling relaxed and joyful, grateful, and not that life is perfect that allows me to feel that way, but because I have learned, and I don't remember all the time, but I have learned that the most peaceful place to be is laying on the altar, right? So it's like, yep, things may not be like peaceful and perfect in the way you hope they would be, but if you can just like crawl up onto the altar and just lay yourself before God and say, I trust you with whatever this is, whatever the outcome of this is, I trust you with it. And lay down your own pride, your own ambition, you can find peace there, right?
Yep.
A place of trust. So I am in that place.
That's a good place.
It is a good place. Maybe like the eye in the calm of the storm. Like, it's not that life is peaceful, but there is peace even though life isn't peaceful, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a very cool place to be. It's a really like, that is an incredible journey to go on, to learn how to get there. Because it's often, like, the first few times you do that, it feels crappy, right? Because
Yeah.
it's normally, you are about to eat some significant humble pie, right? But after you've traveled to the altar a few times, you can trust the process. You can trust what that's going to look like, right? So,
yeah, it's good. All right. So we're going to look at today the remainder of our passage from 1 Timothy 3. Is that okay?
yes, but I need a Bible.
All right. So yesterday we finished down to verse 5 of 1 Timothy chapter 3. And again, just to reiterate, we're talking about this passage because it was brought up on Sunday by our guest speaker. I've forgotten his name.
Brad
Young.
I get excited about that because I forgot so many times.
Again, a speaker for real dads, and fantastic. It was a challenge specifically to men. But I think, since we're doing this series on discipleship at our church, this is a really good baseline discipleship passage. And then it talks about, qualifications obviously as well for leadership, but it's just a good general passage for us to be moving towards, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wind.
Here it is. It's blowy. Good laundry day. That was the look of, oh crap, did I leave laundry in the wash? I might have. Washed that, it gets gross fast, right? Okay.
All right.
So we're starting at verse 6?
Verse 6, yeah.
Okay. An elder must not be a new believer.
What translation are you reading from?
NLT.
Oh, mine says a church leader must not be a new believer. What?
Church leader and elder are not exchangeable in your mind?
Well, they are, but they're not the same word since I have the NLT. Anyway.
Okay.
Fine.
Oh, you have the NLT. Oh,
Yes.
that's why you're confused.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. An elder must not be a new believer. Because I thought you had a different translation and you were
No.
so shocked by
No,
how
no,
different
no,
my
no,
version
no.
was than yours. I was like, that sounds exactly the same. Okay. An elder must not be a new believer because he might become proud and the devil would cause him to fall. Also, people outside the church must speak well of him so that he will not be disgraced and fall into the devil's trap. Okay, so I guess we stop and look at that for a
Yeah,
moment.
I guess so. So not a new convert. And it says, because he might become proud and the devil would cause him to fall. And there's a footnote there. It says, or he might fall into the same judgment as the devil, which means, so the same judgment as the devil. So why did Satan fall?
Because of pride.
Because of pride, right? He wanted to actually be equal again with God. And so, so when we're talking about a church leader, it's a position of authority. There's some authority there, right? And
Absolutely,
so there can be some pride that comes with it. But there's a good pride. Obviously, you want somebody who wants to be in the position, as we read yesterday, right? If somebody desires to be an overseer, they desire a good thing. So there needs to be a desire to do good.
For the heart of the kingdom.
For the
I
heart
guess.
of the kingdom.
Like my gifts and abilities, God has implanted in me, not me necessarily, but for the sake of the speaker here, right?
Yep.
God has implanted in me gifts and abilities that would be a benefit to the body.
Yep.
And every believer wants to use their gifts and abilities. Like, we get in trouble if we don't. We're like, what? You just buried it in the sand? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're supposed to be using them. So if we are gifted in that way, it is right for us to desire to use those gifts. But at the same time, those gifts and abilities need time to be seasoned so that the emotion that goes along with them can be humble and subject to God, so that it's not a pride that can come with those gifts.
There needs to be an acknowledgement that the gifts are not mine. I don't own them, but they've been given to me to be used for the kingdom's sake. So a real submission to the heart of, obviously, Jesus, and gratitude that it's his stuff to begin with. Whoa, we have a crow.
What do we have, Steve?
A crow fest. A murder.
We were teaching the kids yesterday, you're not allowed to call them a murder of crows. And so we actually quizzed them on it if they could say it right. And Ellie was like, a murder? No, you're out of our family. You don't belong with us anymore. It's like this, a murder.
Murder of crows. Anyways.
She got it in the end. We allowed her to come home with us.
So yes, a rightful submission of ourselves, to we're doing it as servants and as servant leaders, with the understanding that we're serving others with it. A servant isn't greater than his master, right? So Jesus modeled servant leader to us. But then there's some leaders who actually, they take the position as a position of lording it over others, right? And that's not a position that we want to be in. We want to be servants. Okay.
Yeah. So there it is. Must not be a new believer. And interesting, because how old's the church at this point in time?
60 years old.
Okay. Also, people outside the church must speak well of him, so that he will not be disgraced and fall into the devil's trap.
Yeah.
So again, that the piece about having a good reputation, being known for good in and outside of the church.
Yeah. So in the community, in the workplace, in the place of play, not just not having a bad reputation, but having a good reputation.
Yeah.
Good.
Must speak well of him. Isn't it lovely to think about being spoken well of?
Yeah.
That's a nice thing, when you can think that people, and some of us, I know for me, in some of the mental games that go on in here that I'm sorting out, that I'm working out, praise Jesus, but some of the stuff that goes on in my brain is quite the opposite of that. I often think people are speaking poorly of me. And so it's kind of amazing when this is just something that I've actually experienced in the last day or two. It's pretty amazing when somebody that you think thinks poorly of you all of a sudden starts to kind of say how much they appreciate you or what you mean to them, and it's this love, it's just this awesome moment of what, all this time I've been wasting my emotional energy thinking that you're not into me, and actually you think all these wonderful things about me.
Right.
And so this is one of the mental games that the enemy plays on us, right? That what it is when you think you can predict what other people are thinking about you, and so it's pretty fun to to see those schemes of the enemy squashed, right? It's like, oh, I see your sneaky tricks, right? So now it's learning to control your mind and your thinking so you don't fall into the sneaky tricks. You don't know what people are thinking about you. I don't know what people are thinking about me. But it's lovely to think that we're being spoken highly of.
By some.
Circles back. Circles back.
Circle back.
Okay.
So
Okay, verse 8.
Verse 8. So this first portion, the first 7 verses, was addressed to church leaders or elders. Okay. So these are the people who are in leadership, more of a kind of a
You might say
pastoral, managerial type role. Okay. Is that true?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Like a maybe more on the teaching, discipleship, theological side of things, where they're gonna keep the church in line in those ways.
Yeah. And then the second part here, starting in verse 8, is for deacons, and the word deacon means servant or slave, and so it's the people who are not necessarily in leadership, but these are the people who are serving. And so it's really cool how Scripture gives qualifications for people. Like they don't just want anybody; they want disciples, right? We're not just looking for warm bodies. We're looking for people who are discipled, who are moving along in their faith journey, right?
There is a standard that is set in Scripture that all Christians would desire to have a character that is such a way, from the leaders to every other part of the body, right? So it's just like, let us all be moving towards that goal. And it's cool that it's like, nope, you're gonna clean bathrooms, please have the character of Jesus in that
exactly
role, right?
in all things. Jesus needs to.
So, not that deacons clean bathrooms, but they serve.
Well, they probably do now, like the sanitizing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. In the same way, deacons must be well respected and have integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I like the word integrity. Have you, I've been learning about the word integrity a bit lately. Any thoughts on the word integrity?
Well, when something has high integrity, like if it's a structure with good integrity, it means it's solid and it's it can weather storms, right? It's built well, but then there's also the integrity of something being like solid as being like consistent through and through. So what you see on the outside, like if you've got a gold ring, right? You don't want it just to be gold plated. You want it to be gold through and through. And so this ring...
Or else what will happen, Steve?
I don't know.
Your finger will turn green.
It will turn green. But you want... Integrity is also what shows on the outside, what is displayed to people is actually the same thing as on the inside. So it's like you're not two-faced.
There's not a veneer.
There's not a veneer. You're not just putting on a show, but you have integrity. You are one person, one whole unit. Anyway, that's what I see. What do you see?
Well, I just recently heard a definition for integrity, and it struck me. And it was integrity is the willingness to let new information change your mind. Right? So that's
good.
To not,
that is really good.
Yeah. To not be like, nope, this is what it is. This is the truth. And I was talking about it last night actually in our life group. But you hold your precious little idea, and this is what it is. This is the thing that I'm going to believe no matter what. But having integrity is to be able to receive new information, and to be able to process that new information, and to be willing to let go of your little idea for the sake of the new truth you've learned.
So you're teachable.
With a sincerity of, I want truth to be the thing that governs me, not my feelings, my ideas, my preconceived notions, right? There's a humility that's involved in integrity in that perspective or definition.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's cool, eh?
Yeah, it's awesome. That is a really good definition. You guys write that down. They must not be heavy drinkers or dishonest with money. Again, so there's the self-control bit is big there, right? We're not controlling ourselves, or we're not deadening our feelings by going into substance abuse. And then dishonest with money. Obviously, somebody who's dishonest with money loves money more than people. And so that's obviously a big deal to God, that you're loving people really, really well, right?
It's tricky.
They must be committed to the mystery of the faith now revealed. That's an interesting line. They must be committed to the mystery of the faith now revealed and must live with a clear conscience.
So what's the mystery of the faith now revealed? Just for clarity.
Jesus.
Yeah. The reality that Jesus is the Savior, the Redeemer, and this is actually the thing that they had been waiting for was Jesus, right?
Yeah.
It's the mystery revealed.
And must live with a clear conscience, which means and that's in reference to being committed to Jesus, right? And so
you can put on that veneer, that front that everybody else sees, and you can convince a whole bunch of people that you're okay because of the veneer, but you also have to be honest with Jesus, right? Like, so that's beyond the veneer. That's the real stuff, right?
Yeah.
With clear conscience before Jesus. So like, again, like, we can convince a lot of people that we're doing okay, or that we're right, but if we can't stand plainly before Jesus in any given scenario, knowing that, yep, that was the right thing to do, then, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Then it's muddy. And that happens all the time, right? Like, Steve and I could be in a disagreement or have frustration, and I could be blaming him for this and he could be blaming me for that, and like, neither one of us want to stand before Jesus in that moment, because, you know, what we know is true, it's like a different level of truth, right? We can even convince ourselves sometimes, yeah, but you. And then if we were standing before Jesus, he would just, like, a look from his eye would be like, oh yeah, no, I see what you mean, Jesus, right? It's like that.
Yeah.
It's the truth, the deepest truth.
Before they are appointed as deacons, let them be closely examined. Again, there's no rush to putting in people into leadership here. There's a slow examination. If they pass the test, let them serve as deacons. So again, there needs to be a transparency of life as well, right? And an honesty with yourself and with others. It's a big deal.
And I think that goes back to that idea that we talked about at the beginning about calling up onto that altar, right? Like, get through the veneer, Jesus, to what's really going on. Do your work in me. And I trust you, even if it's going to hurt a lot. I trust you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's good. Should we keep on going, or should we
wrap
it up there?
Well, we're almost done.
We're almost done.
Little pericope.
In the same way, their wives, and what does it say? There's a little
asterisk, which will say, or husbands.
The woman deacons.
Woman deacons.
The Greek word can be translated women or wives.
Cool.
So in the same way, their wives or the woman deacon must be respected and must not slander others. They must exercise self-control and be faithful in everything that they do. So slandering, well-respected, self-control, faithful are their qualifications for either the wives of deacons or female deacons, right?
A deacon must be faithful to his wife, and he must manage his children and household well. Those who do it well as deacons will be rewarded with respect from others and will have increased confidence in their faith in Jesus Christ.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. They'll be well respected and increased confidence in their faith.
And it fits, right? Like, the more you practice the things of Jesus, the more they prove to be true, and the more your faith grows, because you can see the fruit of your faith.
So are you saying that, okay, so if I'm a Christian...
let's just say he is.
I'm a Christian and I'm growing in my walk with Jesus. And in order to kind of level up my confidence in Jesus, service is the next step.
Obedience
and service. And service, like, as
I would say obedience, because that will look like service, that will look like honesty, that will look like sacrifice, that will look like giving. Like, it would look like lots of different things,
right,
depending on what's going on.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. So if you are, like, a disciple of Jesus and you feel like you've kind of plateaued in your faith, you got to ask yourself, what's the next step? What would Jesus have me do now? Do I need to step out in service? Do I need to be obedient in kind of this next thing? Do I need to commit myself maybe to moving into a leadership capacity? because it says, those who do well as deacons will be rewarded with respect from others and will have increased confidence in their faith in Christ Jesus. So cool. All right. So there you have it.
Thanks for joining us, you guys.
So take homes from today.
Take homes from today. We forgot to do cheers.
We're out of muffins.
We are out of muffins.
We've been eating bagels.
Well, today we ate
and
a
other
half a
stuff.
bagel each. Are you going to
Cheers to interviews. They're difficult.
Cheers to interviews.
What else?
What else are we going to cheers to?
Cheers to Lego and Callum. And
to entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
On all levels.
Cheers. Boom. Cheers to giving yourself to Jesus and on the altar.
You're doing a sincere cheers. I can't cheers to that.
Okay.
Okay. So we will see about what we're going to do about coffee time for next week. We're going to do our best, try some things out and see how it goes.
This is unofficially our last coffee time.
Right. But if we can figure something out, I guess we'll let you know
Yes.
so that you can tune in. Did you call it tuning in on the internet?
I don't know. No, probably not.
Okay.
So you can type in.
So you can type in. Type in next
click
time.
in.
Click in.
All right.
Okay. I like type in because it feels like tuning in. Can we go with that one?
Yeah.
Type in next time on Steve and Charlotte in the morning.
All right. We're going
Let's
to pray?
Yeah, that sounded like an ending. I'll save that for the end.
Okay.
Erase that from your memory.
All right.
Red flashy thing.
Oh.
Are you praying?
I'll pray. Jesus, thank you for today. Thank you for sunshine and birds singing and breezes and a little bit warmer weather than yesterday. Thank you for your goodness to us, Jesus. I thank you, Lord, that you see more potential in us than we see in ourselves. And God, sometimes we need that little bit of a push to see what you see and to give ourselves to you so that we will have more confidence in you and also in ourselves. I thank you that you call us to great things. Lord, I thank you that you set the standard high and that you desire for us to do much with our lives, what we've been given. You want our lives to be good and full. You don't want just us to exist. You want us to live. And the things that you call us to in these passages is really an invitation to live and to live a good life. And so, Jesus, I just pray that we would take you up on that call and on that invitation, God, and that we would believe that life has major consequence and that we would live in such a way that we would live in a way that eternity is real and that it could happen at any time and that you could come back at any time. So again, thank you for today. Bless all those out there in computer land who are listening. I pray, Lord, that you would attend to their needs and attend to their needs and to their hearts and souls today, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
What
Type in next time for Steve and Charlotte in the morning.
Click in.
Type in, Steve. It has to
okay.
be like tune in.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
Have a good trip.